Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Just Open It, the YouTube series in which I open recently acquired toys. My name is Russ. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you're a fan of toys, action figures, or pop culture in general, please subscribe to my channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Every week I aim to open a recently acquired toy or action figure or pop culture collectible, and today I am opening Armored Batman from McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. Now this has been on the pegs for some time, and I believe you can still find him at your local Target or Walmart. I've seen him around. He also comes in a 2-pack with the Dark Knight Returns Superman, which is where this design of Batman came from. The classic 1986 graphic novel by Frank Miller with Klaus Janson and Lynn Varley, and absolutely my all-time favorite graphic novel. As a superhero fan, as a Batman fan, as a comic book fan, I feel like it was a pivotal moment in comic books as an art form, as a storytelling medium. But that's a soliloquy, or that's a rant, or a monologue for another kind of video. This is exclusively looking at Armored Batman, popularized really by Ben Affleck recently in the DCEU, right? He wore this, or a variation of this, in the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice movie. So that's where your average person is going to recognize this design from. And I have the other McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Returns action figures, a series of 4 came out, Batman, Robin, Joker, and Superman, and when you buy them all, you could build Batman's horse. So you can find my videos here on this channel about those toys and that process of building the horse. I just love the phrase. I built a horse. No God complex there whatsoever. Anyway, this figure kind of preceded those, I believe, as far as its release, and so I just decided, since I bought those 4 and this one was still around, might as well buy it and just kind of have everything McFarlane's put out so far from the Dark Knight Returns, again, my all-time favorite graphic novel. So I'm just going to rip right into this thing and let you know what I think of it. I haven't been a huge fan of these DC Multiverse toys by McFarlane. They're kind of bulky, and there's a weird clicking you hear with their points of articulation, as if their joints kind of have these clockwork gears to hold them in place. And since other toys I've collected over the years don't have such a thing, I find that kind of unnecessary. Also, the stand and collector's card, ultimately absolutely pointless, because oftentimes the card gets damaged when trying to remove it. Now this was fortunately easy to remove, but it's also just a picture of the toy that I have. It's not any original art from maybe the Dark Knight Returns or some other comic book incarnation of this design of Batman. It would be really cool if maybe a kid buying this toy, because he recognizes it from Batman v Superman, could get introduced to some Frank Miller art here. I'm kind of surprised that McFarlane, one of the founding fathers of Image Comics, isn't asserting more of a comic book advocacy here with these figures. Although I do know that as I post this, there are some Flash figures and so on that are now included with comics that are original to McFarlane Studios. Again, that's kind of a conversation for a different time. Is McFarlane Studios kind of DC's new de facto publisher, distributor, at least character design department? Who knows? But here's the stand. And let's just extract this Batman. Ah, yes. The bane of this channel. A figure of this bulk, I assume, wouldn't move much in its packaging, and yet they're still compelled to constrain it with these plastic bands. What's the deal here? Why did a figure of this bulk and, frankly, stability, why does it need this? I don't know. It just makes it more difficult to remove. And, you know, I'm not an environmentalist as far as, you know, I try to do my part, but this to me seems like such a needless piece of plastic that it's a one step that could be avoided from an environmental standpoint, from a practical standpoint of unpackaging. I see my collar here's kind of loose. Truly bizarre. Anyway, moving on. I'll probably just evoke this frustration in every video that I open a figure with that, and it has that. I don't get it. Love to hear your feedback on that. Am I just out of my mind, or is it a point of contention with my fellow collectors like you as well? Okay, so I have this Batman in hand, and man, oh man, right away I'm digging it. I'm digging the bulk. I'm digging the articulation. The cape is not fabric, thankfully, but it has a texture to it that really makes it look like a heavy fabric. That's really cool. It looks like a canvas almost, if you could see that. And I'm digging that a lot. Here's what I don't understand. This version of this character, I don't know if maybe the 2-pack with Superman does, but he doesn't come with accessories. Unless I'm missing something here. There's no Batarang, there's no vial of kryptonite, nothing like that. And yet he still comes with alternate hands. And I really I don't see the difference between these two hands at all. They're both right hands. This one's just maybe a little more open than the other, but why? Again, needless plastic. Something that makes it look like it comes with stuff, but it's pointless. I'm just going to put this in a weapons bucket and forget about it. Unnecessary. And why do I need another open hand if he doesn't come with anything to hold? I have a fist here, which makes for great posability, playability. I don't understand it. It doesn't add value to me as a classic toy collector, buying action figures, for my entire life. And I'm just not impressed with these, like, additional hands and stuff like that. If I didn't need them when I was a kid, I kind of don't need them now as an adult. I'll figure it out if I want them to hold a couple weapons. Anyway, that said, this is a great-looking figure. I like it a lot. The tread on the boots is impressive, too. Can you see that? Wow. And I assume a figure of this kind of bulk is balanced enough, even without his feet flat on the surface, he's able to stand. So do I need this? I guess that's the point of this video, right? Is kind of the needless inclusions with some of our contemporary action figures, I would much rather forsake both of these hands and this stand and have a Batarang or the kryptonite arrow that Green Arrow shoots at Superman, or like the little Batman kind of squirts him in the face, I think, with some acid at one point. Like, I'd much rather have that stuff here than these things. But all of that said, those are just, believe me, those are minor quibbles in comparison to the fact that this figure has some great articulation. If there's any figure that would kind of justify the clicking of those, I'm going to call them clockwork joints, it's this one, because it's an armor. So, get my thumbnail here. And so I get that. Love the grimace on his face. This is a Batman that means business. Interestingly with this design, no bat symbol at all. It's truly just the silhouette of Batman that makes him who he is. And, any graphic designer will tell you that is the indication of a great character if he has a cool silhouette. And that's Batman. That's the Rocketeer. That's the Ninja Turtles, maybe, arguably, especially if their bandanas kind of blowing in the breeze. If you saw a silhouette of a turtle only, you would know what that is. The Flash, with his thing, Captain America with the little wings. There's a lot of kind of silhouette play when it comes to designing a character. And this Batman depends on it because he does not have a bat symbol. He has the utility belt, he has the scalloped cape, and the rest of this is just armor meant for business, meant to just pummel the stuffings out of Superman and, remind him of the one man that beat him. So, McFarlane Toys, digging this figure very much. He will stand alongside my other Dark Knight Returns action figures and kind of complete that set. Hey, I encourage you, McFarlane, if you're watching this, I'd love to see the Mutant Leader. I'd love to see a cool-looking Commissioner Gordon, maybe in a 2-pack with the Mutant Leader, so he has some of that more commercial appeal. That would be an awesome addition of this. Some of the Mutant Thugs would be cool too. Now, I know that there is a DC line of action figures that released a Mutant Thug and the Mutant Leader. So I could find them secondhand at this point to kind of complete this array of Dark Knight toys I've begun to collect. But I'd love to see them from the same production house, so to speak. I'd love to see them from McFarlane Toys. So there's kind of a consistency there. And Todd, I'm just saying, I'm interested, and if I'm interested, many other fans might be as well. So think about that. I'm going to say a Commissioner Gordon Mutant Leader 2-pack is the next Dark Knight Returns action figure set I'd like to see from you. And with that said, digging this Batman. A wolf howls, and I know how he feels. Thanks again for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Again, if you're a fan of toys, please subscribe to this channel, Karaoke Fanboy TV. Also, follow me on Instagram at AmazingAZComics, where I post more about the comics and toys that I love, and the comics and zines that I make. I am a self-publisher of comics and zines here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'd love to see you there on Instagram too. Tune in next time when I grab another unopened toy here in the stack in my living room, and I say, you know what? Just open it. I'll catch you next time.